and welcome along to the West Wales Karting Virtual Racing Project Cars 2 race. It's round 5 of the Clio Cup Championship on the PS4 platform, and today we're going to be racing at the Barcelona club circuit. And expect a feisty little layout awaiting us, especially in these Clio Cup cars. It's going to be absolute carnage, I think, watching the PS4 group throwing these things around as they compete, and the championship is extremely close still. Alex Brown and Welsh Taff, unfortunately, are not with us for this round of the championship, so they're going to be taking a bit of a hit in the championship. But the 4 main contenders are here, and you can see there from the championship order it's very close indeed, with Dan Holloway leading. He's had 2 wins, and Monty Momo and Stuart Davis have had 1 win apiece as well after the recent rounds at Cadwell Park. So they're on the grid now. Let's see how they get on today. It's Dan Holloway starting on pole position on the outside, but it's Stuart Davis who once again gets a fantastic start, and he goes straight into the lead. And the lead of the 6 cars here present today, Stuart Davis is ahead of Dan Holloway, and then we've got Del Boy and Monty Momo battling away. Del Boy's just ahead of him at the moment, and Stuart Davis is holding off Dan Holloway for the lead there still, and Spitfire is back in action after missing the previous couple of rounds, and he is fending off Pixie there. Pixie's had a great start. He's all over the back of Spitfire, but Spitfire's just managed to hold him off, I think, as they head round now the tricky double apex couple of corners there that lead downhill and rejoin the main Grand Prix circuit. And Del Boy's had a great run here, look, on Dan Holloway. Dan Holloway's really struggling on this opening lap as they head round the long last corner now, coming back onto where they started originally the race from. There it is, that's the pit straight. And Stuart Davis is going to be loving this now. He's got a bit of a gap to the rest of them, hasn't he?
He's pulled out about a car length from Dan in second, but it looks like they're queuing up behind him, just trying to get past him. It's a dive there by Dan, as he tries to get up the inside. Camera cuts away, but this looks like the side by side going into the little cut back that joins the track back together. That's Stu on the inside again, but Dan will try and carry momentum. But Stu has the better line. Now Dan will have the better line. Oh, it was probably close to 2 wheels right down there. This is really going to bring in the guys behind him. See Delboy trying around the outside, and Monty's probably just watching and thinking, I can pick up a few places here, as it looks like he's up on the inside of Delboy, and he is. That's a great move.
Fantastic move there, and Monty, you can see him, is like a shark, isn't he? Going around in the background, a purple shark now who pounces on Dan Holloway for second place, and he's picking them off one by one here. He's only got 1 more car to go now before he gets into the lead, and that's Stuart Davis, the immovable object, as it seems. No one's been able to pass him so far. He's the 3rd person to have a go now in this race already, which has been only 2 laps old. Stuart Davis really knows how to defend, doesn't he? and that's Dan Holloway straight down the inside of Monty, who's trying to carry the momentum all the way around the outside now. We'll see a lot of this during this race, I think, 2x2 action, but he's disadvantaged himself a little bit, and that's Del Boy in the yellow car now through as well. So it's all being mixed up, the order. Every time we look at the screen it's a different order at the moment, and this is allowing Spitfire to keep a watching brief there in the green car in the background, who's dropped Pixie.
Yeah, Spitfire's catching up quite nicely as Stu locks his brakes there. They're all running quite wide set for Monty into that corner. I wonder if it's get a better exit. But this is really close for the top 5, as looks like Pixie's just falling back a bit from the pace, and that's all Monty off into the gravel on the right. And you can see Dan's really pressurising Stu. He's really wanting that race lead, and especially as he's leading the championship, so he'll want every point and win he can get. But Stu will be fighting back, as he didn't have great finish in the first 2 rounds of this championship, so he'd be trying to claw as much points back as he can. As you see Del Boy in 3rd, he's another contender for the championship lurking, as it looks like and they touch, that's just pushed Stu wide, and that's allowed Dan up into 1st now. So bit of a touring car move there, but it seems to have worked.
I was going to say, a touring car love tap there by Dan Holloway on Stuart Davis, and Stuart Davis up on 2 wheels now. He's really got poor exit, and this is going to put him under a great deal of pressure from Del Boy, who is flying over that curb now, trying to find a way round. Which way is he going to go? Inside, outside? He can go anywhere around this circuit in these cars. But Stuart Davis has got his sights now firmly fixed on grabbing back that first position again from Dan Holloway. What was that, Alex?
Monty went around in the wing mirrors, lost loads of momentum, and put Spitfire through.
Oh dear, yeah. I don't know how did he just drop it? I wasn't actually looking.
I think it was quite hard to tell looking in the wing mirror there, but it looks like he just went massively sideways and luckily held onto it, but Spitfire's through up to 4th.
It's a big shame from Monty because he is in the championship hunt, but he does now need some contact, I think, to happen between these guys to catch back up. But who knows what's going to happen? We're not even halfway through this race yet. But like you were saying, Alex, yeah, Spitfire. I mean, before this championship started, he looked unbeatable, didn't he? And he had a couple of shaky races where, well, I say shaky, he didn't win them, but he was in the hunt, wasn't he? And then he had missed a couple, and he's back here now. He's in 4th, but you can't rule him out, can you? He's been showing some fantastic pace.
He's definitely got some fantastic pace, like you said. I'm not sure the Clios are to his liking as compared to the usual stuff they were racing before, which was the old Escorts, I think. So he might be more used to rear-wheel drive. It's hard to say if Stu's catching up, really. They're all sort of holding their distance at the moment. Is Stu doing his trademark brake locking up? He seems to be the only one that does that.
Yeah, he seems to, I think he's going to have a tyre shaped like a 50p piece by the end of this race if he keeps doing that. But it's working for him so far anyway. He's staying with Dan Holloway here. Dan Holloway hasn't been able to extend his lead and break the chasing pack, so it's still all to play for. Monty MC Momo is still recovering. He's all by himself now, look.
Yeah, luckily, he picks these not close enough to re-attack him, but a few clean laps might bring him back into contention with this group, because the group hasn't really split out and they're all still quite close, so one silly mistake from someone up front could really bring everything back together. But you have to imagine... Yeah,
and the great thing with this little track here is there's so many places where you could just throw it down the inside, isn't it? You got this corner here, it's very easy to get this corner wrong. We saw in the Formula Renaults when the Xbox group were watching here, you can easily get that one wrong there. And then through these corners too, you can go side by side like we've already seen. And we've got this really fast right-hander here that flows around, and you can understeer wide here as well. Then we've got another long right-hander following it. So it's hard to know where this manoeuvre is going to come. To be honest, it could be anywhere, I think.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Usually first corner, because you can sort of take a good dive and there's different lines. Same with the second corner, but they have to be... As they're getting further into the race, they have to remember tyre wear is quite a big factor at this track. Because like you said, with the Xbox doing the Formula Renault, they suffered massively with tyre wear, and it was getting quite hard to brake where you wanted to and put the car where you wanted to. So they have to keep that in mind. As Dan's going quite wide, and that's going last year up on the inside is there, and they bang doors. And Stu's up now, but as you see, Dan gets that outside line, but that doesn't matter. Stu's back in the lead, so great move. There's Dan flashes lights in appreciation.
Yeah, either in appreciation or maybe some other words that you might have been saying on the mic then, along with those light flashes. But he's trying his touring car tap manoeuvre again. It doesn't work this time, and now that's Del Boy right round the outside. Oh, and they collide. They managed to stay going facing straight, and they haven't lost any time. And now Del Boy's looking down the inside of Stuart Davis, and Spitfire now is involved too on Dan Holloway. Dan Holloway's back down to 3rd as a result of all that, and he's run a little bit wide here, and Spitfire's swarming all over the back of him. So suddenly now, after holding position for a while, this race is absolutely blown wide open for the lead, hasn't it? You've got 4 cars here. Either one of them could exit the next few corners in the lead.
Well, not like that with Spitfire going wide. That's just dropped him back about 4 positions, and who knows, Monty might be able to reel him in now, but definitely the front 3 are really throwing it all out there. You can really tell they all want to win, but this has put Del Boy into the contention now, unless Dan just throws up the inside, as it looks like he might be trying to do. Oh no, and he hit. Oh no, Dan. He's put Del Boy around into the gravel. That's not a great manoeuvre there. I think it was just a bit optimistic.
Yeah, I don't know if there could be a penalty for that one, quite possibly. He's been very close to the car ahead of him, hasn't he, that he's been chasing for the last couple of laps, and I thought we could see that one coming, really.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got the braking down onto that corner, especially compared to everyone else. I think he just didn't expect the door to close with it, on him that much, and it's just put Del Boy around, which is unfortunate, really, but he's in behind Monty, so he might be able to get past him up into 4th, but this is really going to affect the championship, you have to imagine.
Absolutely, yeah, because Dan Holloway's still up there in second, Stuart Davis leading the race, and we've got Monty Momo and Delboy now down there in fourth and fifth. There's Spitfire splitting a lot of them. So I wonder if Spitfire now can try and catch Dan Holloway. He's already got a podium in the bag if he stays where he is, and we're over halfway through this race. And you can see they're riding on board now with Spitfire. He's very smooth, isn't he, on the steering wheel? You can see there he's clearly using a rig setup. Look how smooth he is, silky smooth, and he's trying to catch Dan Holloway now.
Yeah, he's a brilliant driver. You can just watch his live streams he usually does of Gran Turismo to see his driving, even though he is the main commentator for that series. So that's always a good watch if you're into your sim racing. But you see Pixie here in last position, probably new to the group, so he's still getting up to speed, especially what's this, his fifth race or something like that. So he's doing well, only 12 seconds off the lead. It's a tricky track as well. It's not to everyone's liking. You're constantly working the wheel trying to find grip. As see Dan trying to reel in Stu, but it's about a second now. So he's really pushing, but you have to imagine with the pace difference, the pace similarities between these two, it's going to be quite hard to make any time up.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it'll just be a case now of these two pushing absolutely to their maximum and one of them breaking, but who breaks first? I think that's what we're going to have to wait and see, to be honest. And Delboy now is hunting down Monty. But just back to Pixie, you could see even on the off-board shot that his wheels are moving around quite a bit because he uses a controller. So perhaps this racetrack isn't best to his liking on the controller setup that he's got for driving these cars around this track. They are a little bit understeery as well. So yeah, I don't think that's helping him very much down there in 6th position, but he's still out there, he's still giving it his all, and Delboy's giving it his all now as he looks at the purple shark, as I called him at the start of the race, but now he is being hunted himself by a yellow machine in the form of Delboy.
Yeah, Monty
the yellow submarine.
Yeah, Monty will try and keep 4th because that'd be a good finish for him, but the pace of Delboy is really going to make it hard. They did both do a 47 in the previous lap, so they all did a 47 besides Pixie, so it really shows how close the whole field is. As Dan's actually found some good time on Stu, and has actually got it to under a second, looks like half a second. So with only a few more laps, you'd have to imagine he's going to try and dive at some point.
Yeah, you'd have to think so, Alex, and also they've dropped Spitfire look too. So now we've got Spitfire by himself, a battle for the lead with Stuart and Dan, and now a battle as well for 4th and 5th between Monty and Delboy. And let's not forget, these two won't be out of the championship hunt wherever they finish here today. So this 4th and 5th place is just as important as it is for the leaders here for the championship between those two, because they could still be champion at the end of this series. But Dan Holloway has absolutely got his mind and his heart set now on taking back that first position that Stuart Davis stole off him right on the start line. If you remember, he had a great start. And look down the inside now, Dan Holloway on Stuart Davis. And Stuart Davis locks his wheel, and Dan backs out of it just enough so that they don't end up on the grass there.
Yeah, so
and it's getting feisty now.
Someone's going to have to install a bump bar on the front of Dan's car the way he's driving in this race.
Yeah.
It looks like he's trying to pit manoeuvre half the field, but he's still second, and it actually slowed him down quite a bit. He was right on the tail, but he's 2 car lengths back now, so he's going to have to build that back up and try and dive again. But hopefully be careful, like I said, it might be a penalty for that incident with Delboy, so he doesn't want another penalty and possible championship points taken away.
That's a very good point, that is. He's probably thinking of that now as well, as the championship leader too. He's probably playing the percentages slightly here with Stuart Davis, and he knows Stuart is going to place his car in very awkward positions from his past experiences of racing Stuart. These two have raced each other quite a bit now, it has to be said, not just on the PS4 platform but also on the Xbox as well, isn't it? As these two both are fresh from the Clio Championship there as well, so they're both quite up to speed with these cars.
Yeah, they have to wonder as well if they raced karts together. That's one question I have to ask him as well. As Dan gets an amazing run out in the final corner, he's on the inside and really setting himself up for the first corner. That was a great bit of driving there. You can see the tyres probably going on Stu's car, so he just went wide, but he would get the cut back, and he's pushing. That might be on the limits of track. And Dan's off into the gravel on the right there. That's going to allow Spitfire to catch up.
Yeah, that was extremely aggressive by the both of them, especially Stewart there. He really did give Dan a bit of a shunt, didn't he, on the inside? And Dan ended up way out on the beach there, on the Spanish beaches of Barcelona, but not the ones he would have preferred to be on. Instead, it was the gravel trap. And now he's second and quite a bit behind Stewart. So now we switch now to look at this battle for 4th and 5th between Del Boy and Monty. And Monty is still holding off Del Boy, despite not having the pace quite clearly of Del Boy in this one. But Del Boy now, look, he's got a great run. Is he going to try and do a Dan Holloway round here, I wonder? Not quite, not this lap.
No, that last corner is quite tricky, especially in these with the understeer they tend to have. You've really got to work the throttle. As you can see just how defensive Monty is in front here. He's really hugging the inside, so he's forcing you on the outside line, but that can be beneficial, especially into this corner as the outside becomes the inside. But great driving here by Monty, great defensive drive.
Yeah, very clean as well. He's just keeping it very nice and clean, and yeah, he's not being flustered, is he? He's just driving calmly in front of Del Boy there, and Del Boy's the one who's locking his wheels and looks like the one who's trying harder, if you know what I mean. Obviously, clearly Monty's trying hard to stay there, but you can see from the driving style difference.
Yeah, and I think that was the last lap, it looks like.
Oh, indeed, yeah. Well, we've done it again, Alex. We missed this. We got so absorbed in it. Oh, and Del Boy's down the inside. Oh, but so they've already crossed the line. So Stuart Davis, who takes the win ahead of Dan Holloway in the end. Great battle between those two. Very feisty, has to be said. Spitfire is going to take 3rd place in the final spot on the podium after a very solid drive. And Del Boy there and Monty MC Momo 4th and 5th for them, with Pixie coming home in 6th position. We didn't really see too much of Pixie. Are we going to see him now? There he is. Look, he's crossing the line now. Pixie coming home to take some very well-earned points there, and it will put him quite high up in the championship now compared to his other rivals in Welsh Taff and Alex Brown, it has to be said.
Especially since those two didn't take part in this race, unfortunately, I think they're a bit busy. But yeah, that's a good haul of points coming out of them in 6th. But you see the finishing positions of all the drivers there, as well as the points here now.
Oh, look how close it is at the top now, Alex. Dan Holloway just 1 point ahead of Stewart, so you could see what all that feistiness was about, and they've pulled out a little bit of a gap now to Monty and Del Boy, who are back in 3rd and 4th. Spitfire still in 5th there, ahead of Welsh Taff. Pixie now in 7th, ahead of Alex Brown. So join us next time, where we will be racing at Barcelona again for round 6.